Alright, at the top left position is the green Zerg. We will have Predator. And at the top right is the purple Protoss. We will have vOddy.
Okay, so Electric Circuit. I mean, this map is definitely, like, it reminds me a little bit of the fact that you have that back mineral only in your, kind of in your main, that kind of similar to Medusa, but the rest of the map is completely different. So it has a lot of expansions, a good distance between them, different bridges, different chokes. A lot of good battles can happen on a map like this, and I have to say that I wonder if both players have had training on this map, because it's not the most common map, I believe, to play right now.
Yeah, that's definitely true. At least I believe it was in the map pool in like the last couple of seasons of Pro League and Professional StarCraft. So it would have been like the most recently played professional map. So maybe at least the players won't have forgotten too much of it. It's interesting actually also because it's as you mentioned, there's the back mineral only, and that makes it very similar to Medusa, which was in the preliminaries map pool. I mean, it's effectively a 4-player Medusa. But what I do like though is that does mean going for Reaver builds in PvZ is pretty strong and was pretty popular in Pro League. I don't know if it will be popular here among the foreigner players, but I can dream.
The thing I really like about this map, and it's something that is not as common nowadays in maps that are more played maybe on Icy Cup, is that you actually have a lot of different small areas to enter at the same location. So you can always find maybe send some Zerglings from the back or around the army. So there's a lot of possibilities on this map that you usually don't have in something like Fighting Spirit, where it's relatively straightforward.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's interesting how, actually, I'm just going to reveal map again, how you do have the middle area like Fighting Spirit, but then there's like these little gaps of space, and then there's like these side lanes that you can go down. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes out, or if we're just gonna see some cheese. Whoa, there was actually a cancel here. I thought I heard a building explode. The forge was actually canceled. And a Nexus was built when he actually scouted that hatchery. Presumably that was a 12 hatchery. I wasn't actually paying attention. That's the only possible explanation for this, and that's really interesting. See, the drone does see that as well. The drone actually almost dying. This does cost you a few minerals when you cancel. Actually, wait, if it doesn't finish building, maybe it doesn't. I can't remember.
No, it still costs something.
It still costs a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So that's not ideal, but it does mean he gets the Nexus down super quickly.
Yeah, and Predator seems to be going for the mineral only at the back, so he's definitely going really fast to those 3 hatches.
Yeah, indeed.
But gathering gas at the same time. He has already 100 gas, but not enough minerals to build either a speed or lair. I would presume that this is going to be for a lair, because it's so nicely blocked by vOddy in his natural that trying to go for speed might not be the best choice here. Unless he wants to do nice scouting. Oh! Okay, look at the natural of Predator. It's something different.
It is a Hydra Den. Very interesting, and he does actually kill the probe inside the main, so the probe does not actually see the Hydra Den. And
the second probe is coming out.
It is, but unfortunately it gets spotted by this Overlord that's coming down, so I think he should be able to intercept this, or he's going to try really hard to. Yeah, there we go. He's going to block it and immediately takes it down. vOddy was not paying attention to that probe. Now, it's funny because I mentioned how going for Reaver openings was popular in Pro League. Going for 3-hatch Hydra was extremely popular on this map, and I think is made it so that, in fact, the Protoss would go Reavers before Corsairs often, and just build Reavers at the natural with no shuttle, anticipating a Hydra pressure. Now the 3-hatch Hydra is not necessarily all in. This is not like the old school 3-hatch Hydra where it's almost like it's just a bust. Oh, spotted. But you see, the great thing about the 3-hatch Hydra, the sort of newer version of this is you can just build a few Hydras, sort of pressure the front, maybe grab the gateway, possibly the forge for free, depending on the cannon positioning, and then you just drone up behind this, and you get you get your economy going, while keeping pressure on the front. And then the Protoss is completely blind. He can't go and scout until the Corsair comes out, and he has to play really defensively, build a lot of stacked defenses. So you gain really early map control, and you're not particularly far behind in the economy.
But this is a very heavy commitment, especially because speed was done first, and now he's going for the range as well. So I think Predator is pretty much going all-in-ish with this. No drones at the third at all, so
yeah,
just pure Hydras.
Yeah, I mean, all right, I'm gonna reserve judgment. He is getting the lair though. He is getting the lair. That's good. I was gonna say if he actually turns this into an all-in, that's definitely okay. I would be a little bit sad though, especially since there should be enough cannons. That's the thing about this Hydra pressure is the Protoss has to make enough cannons as if it was an all-in, because it will actually be an all-in sometimes, right? But if the Zerg doesn't actually go all in, then the cannons are wasted, and you can see the drones being made now. So so this should be fine. He should be able to get the Gateway and the Forge both probably, which would just be nice. Yeah, there we go. Oh, a little bit back.
Well, it's diagonal, so it's a bit weirder to calculate the distance. You can see how far the siders are actually shooting.
Another annoying thing is every time the cannons shoot you, the Hydras stop shooting if they're on hold position, because they try and shoot the cannons that are out of range, so you have to like redo it and press stop and just like fix it. Oh, meanwhile, one Corsair gonna take out an Overlord here.
Yeah, and there's nothing really to defend it, and the second Corsair is already coming up, so vOddy can actually do some significant delay on Predator's side of the map.
Yes, indeed. That is obviously the annoying thing about this is you don't get a Spire, so you don't get Scourge to help deal with these early Corsairs, but as long as you're paying attention to your Overlord positioning, it's not the end of the world. And we do see Lurkers coming out. This is another annoying thing. So, basically, this is effectively, like an early soft Hydra contain. This will turn into a very strong Lurker contain, and not only can he contain at the natural, but he can break in the back door if he so chooses. Obviously, if he opens the back door, that means he'd have to contain both those areas as well. So
yeah, the only thing that worries me for Predator is that vOddy is getting a lot of information from these Corsairs. Of course, killing the Overlords is even better, but by seeing all of this, vOddy knows that he's in a decent position economically. So as long as he knows that, okay, I have to put, he also puts the pylon to the temple, so he is expecting that something like that might be coming.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the Hydra opening and then you scout the lair, you've got to assume something like that's going on. Hyrule Gambit pointing out that Heroes, their version of this 3-hatch Hydra opening is actually to research drop as well, which would be incredibly strong here because there's a lot of surface area around this left side of the base where this high ground snakes around that you can just very easily drop over. So another thing that vOddy should be aware of. Does he? Yeah, okay, he does have the Robo, he's got the Archives with the Storm going, getting his gateways up, so he's not going to go for any Reaver tech. I'm just going to go the more standard gateway route, which is completely fine. It will just be a little bit annoying once the Lurker contain is down here, because you can see this is quite actually a narrow opening at the natural for him to actually break out with just gateway units.
Yeah, and at the same time, what you mentioned about the drop makes a lot of sense, because as vOddy, you first invest into the cannons, then of course you don't want to fall too far behind in the attack, so you're probably going to try to get like what already probably did, which is the Archives, the Observers, so you will not have a lot of army in the early stages. So it makes a drop, but Predator is okay with just trying to get his max up.
Interestingly, we have a hidden expansion here for the Zerg at the 6 o'clock location. The Corsair actually checked all the bottom left bases, but I don't think he saw the 6 o'clock. I don't actually know what the point of taking a hidden base is right now when you have the Protoss contained, because it's not like he can attack you anyway. So that seems, I mean, it's fine, it's not bad, it just seems
DT and Ops!
Oh, nice. Oh man, the Zealots are going to cause the Dark Templar to get splashed. Alright, looks like it doesn't actually matter. Oh man, he should move it away from the splash. Okay, there we go.
Nice!
Kind of defeats the purpose of the Dark Templar to have the Zealots kill it by proxy, but it looks like he does manage to break the small contain. So I guess now it makes more sense that he has a hidden expansion here if he wasn't going to commit too heavily to that contain.
Yeah, I have to say though that I was expecting Predator to have a lot less when vOddy eventually broke out, because of how much he was supply blocked. He also had trouble with his units because he made them so early. But it seems like he's with the 6 o'clock and the 4th that is now going to get probably denied. He's not in that bad of a position.
Whoa, big scourge.
Yeah.
Here. How did those lurkers attack the hatchery to kill that DT? Because there's no overlord here, right? And they killed the DT.
Maybe it was just the zealot again.
Dude, no, that DT was under attack before the zealots here. I think Predator just pulled out a mini Pimpus play right there and attacked his own hatchery to splash down the DT. That was really cool. I could be crazy. I think that's what just happened.
It's that.
I'm gonna pretend that Predator is a mega Gosu and actually did that. That was really awesome. It's like
zealots. Like, I don't much.
Your microphone's a little bit breaking up a little bit, dude. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just the Skype lag again. Anyway, sorry, it's a little bit hard to hear for a second. We got the mineral only now established for vOddy as well. So keeping up on the bases, or at least he thinks he's keeping up on the bases, but that's because he doesn't know about the 6 o'clock. So that's going to be interesting. He does have a lot of High Templars and Zealots, but there's Lurkers on the field, which is pretty much exactly what's good against this. So we're going to need to see some Dragoons. Okay, finally the Dragoon production does start here. The Scourge see all of these High Templars just doing a little dance here, just taunting them a little bit. That's 7 High Templars, which are going to have a lot of storms between them.
Yeah, I mean, Predator actually has right now 5 bases, so if vOddy doesn't try to do anything relatively soon, he's probably gonna get overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be a problem. See, the thing is, he's gonna move out now, but he doesn't realize the problem because again, he doesn't know about the hidden base. But this is a very, very strong army, though. He actually doesn't have any upgrades. The first like behind the Zerg upgrades right now, presumably because he lost the Forge at the front. See, he's still at 0-0, and the Zerg already has +1 carapace, which is quite nice. vOddy, instead of going for the attack, is going to secure the 3 o'clock, which is completely fine. He's going to be a little bit careful of like Zergling backstabs and stuff like that if he does decide to move out with the main army. But that's good. And we do see some Sunkens being made in response to the move out here from the Protoss. Wow, vOddy actually has a huge supply lead.
I don't think, though, that supply lead is I think it's a little bit misleading, because Predator is making a lot of Zerglings. And Zerglings overall, especially considering once Hive is finished, which is finished now, then you add the Cracklings, and even Zerglings just without anything, if you don't have any Archons, they're gonna do some serious damage.
That is true. Looks like, though, a small group of Zerglings swings around this bottom. The Protoss army, okay, no, never mind. I thought for a second vOddy saw that somehow, but it looks like he didn't. He was just pulling back a little bit. Very smartly, though, does leave a handful of Zealots to help defend this. I actually really like this. This actually makes me so happy. It's way too many times to see Protoss players send the entire army to attack and then start building cannons, but leave no units to defend the fresh expansion. Leaving just 4 Zealots like that basically doesn't cost you anything as a Protoss, but perfectly defends that kind of mini backstab from the Zerg, which they love to do. So really like that small thing from vOddy, and now he's going to start pressuring the front.
vOddy is even higher now in supply. He's like 69 supply up, but again, it's very difficult to break through these kind of lurker lane contain this position, and I think Predator so far has been doing fair enough to sniping the Observer.
He gets the one Observer. I don't think there's another Observer here, at least I can't see one. The Zealots are all pulling back, so the Dragoons are AFK. Just what are they doing, the Dragoons? I think he just forgot his Dragoon honk here or something, but vOddy taking a lot of unnecessary damage on these Dragoons, but does pull back and get a nice score on the Zerglings. So he does keep the majority of his army intact here. And look at this, he's very, very close to maxed here. And the Zerg's still down at 110 supply. This extra expansion is not really, doesn't seem to be providing him that much here, even though it's been up and running for a while. But it looks like he actually snipes another random Observer. Something blew up here by these Overlords. vOddy is basically stopping this gigantic army from attacking him just by doing these AUG snipes, which is actually really good.
Yeah, and especially considering that he's doing fairly well in the upgrade department, and at the same time he's actually adding more hatcheries and the Ultra Cavern, and now Cracklings are finished, so the damage output of those Zerglings is going to increase significantly from this point on.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. 2-1 finished on those lanes against just a 1-0 of the Protoss. Here we go. Looks like Protoss going to move out yet again. Just a single observer. That is the weak point, although I don't see any Scourge here. And it looks like, oh man, Predator needs to pay attention right now. There's a huge attack coming in. His army isn't really weak. He does have a nice lurker spread at least. He's actually second off a little bit lower here. I don't know if he knows about that. But this army is busting through right now. We need some reinforcements to come in. For Predator, the lurkers are unsupported right now. But, oh man, the Zealots do not hold back. So actually, most of the Zealots get shredded by the lurker field regardless. If he just spams a bunch of Krakens right now, he could actually wreck the rest of the army.
Yeah, there's not that much army. I mean, there's a few High Templars with storms, but you're going to be storming your own units as well. And you can see that only just like there are 36 Zerglings right now on the field. That's more than enough to actually clean this army.
Yeah, that's the danger there. I would have been, I think vOddy would have been better off holding back the Zealots and just attacking there with the Dragoons to avoid most of the splash damage, because there wasn't anything supporting those lurkers. And now there won't be enough Zealots supporting the Dragoons. Another Observer snipe doesn't quite get the last one though. Look at this, Observer speed has been researched actually for vOddy in response to all these snipes. That's actually quite funny. You almost never see that upgrade.
Oh, look at this. We also have drop being finished, and Predator was actually loading a few Zerglings to his Overlord. It seems like he's dropping them now in this main, but I don't know if he was trying to save them or actually go for an attack.
Yeah, I mean, he might just have to sacrifice the 9 o'clock and go for the counter drop or something. I mean, it's going to be too late to save the space anyway, so he should probably go for the counter. There are 2 Corsairs here. No, never mind. He's going to go try and defend it. He does have the Ultra Scout and the Phylos. Actually, for some reason, this army didn't kill that base as quickly as I thought. It's actually turning around to
It's still live.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, he's going back in now. But actually, that might have been enough time for the Zerg army to come in here. He's coming in the back. Here we go. Is he just going to try and take down the hatchery? This could cost the entire Protoss army, though. I don't know if that's necessarily the best move right now. He's focusing on the hatchery. No, he's not. He's going to focus on the Zerglings. Big storm on the Zerglings. Now he focuses the hatchery. But this means his army is forfeit. No reinforcements coming into the back. It's a crazy fight. And actually, the Protoss is okay.
But just I think only Zealots are left at this point, and 2 High Templars. So the army really isn't that good for vOddy at this moment.
Yeah, but he at least killed the base,
yeah.
Which means he's on even basis pretty much with the Zerg, because he has his 3 o'clock just fine. Thankfully for Predator, he did take this hidden expansion. This is the only thing he can do in the game right now, the 6 o'clock expansion, and he's going to send a few Zerglings over to see this fresh expansion attempt, but he does have the Ultra Link now. That's the crucial thing. The Ultralists do not have their armor upgrade, so they're, oh my god, he's going to have 4 Ultralists trapped here. That's going to be a huge loss for him. Where are the Zerglings? Oh my god. Big waste of 4 ultras right there.
Yeah, that's a huge waste, and that was a lot of gas units. Both players have actually really little gas right now, so they really need to save those gas-expensive units.
Yeah, they definitely do. Oh man, that was just a bit of miscontrol from Predator, and of course, without the extra bonus +2 armor, which is just now being evolved, they actually got taken down pretty quickly by Zealots, which typically don't actually do very well against Ultras. But we do have an expansion attempt here at the bottom left by Predator. Just going to try and keep up with things. I guess he figures he can't really take out the space now. The cannons are finishing, the robo's finished. I like this vOddy. Notice he's setting up 1 robotics at these new expansions, so they can just start pumping out Reavers, making it pretty much impossible to attack.
Look at the drone party at the temple by, at the Sinus Raptor.
Oh man, it's on the outside too. Where are they trying to go?
I guess they're actually trying to go to the mineral only.
Yeah, it's because they were from the hatchery that died at the 9 o'clock, and they're trying to return the minerals to the mineral only. Oh god, that's so awful. Oh man, this is a very Zealot heavy army though from vOddy.
Yeah.
Zealots are, oh my god, he actually made more Zealots? He's got like almost all Zealots. Zealots are horrible against Ultra Link actually. Plague on the Zealots as well. And this is why, I mean, the Ultraling is good against them already. There's a Queen on the field. There's actually so many units, it doesn't even matter. Oh my god. The Ensnare.
Plague and Snare? What the?
Dude, there's just all kinds of food everywhere. This is the Christmas food strategy, the red food. But unfortunately for Predator, even though this unit composition is pretty terrible against late game Zerg. There's just so many units, it doesn't matter. That is an insane number of zealots. Is he just not making any? He's just only making zealots and Templars. He's like, alright, I don't need your units, it's fine. Oh my god. Alright, we might have another fight here in the middle.
I don't know exactly because what vOddy is doing, because he's got like a lot of zealots, so they should be completely shredded by this composition, but because Predator is actually having pockets of armies everywhere, he's not able to do this. He's actually adding Hydras, which I believe is for lurkers, and if he adds like 4 lurkers, the entire army from vOddy can vanish in a second.
Yep, exactly. I mean, zealots, oh man, alright, I'm gonna stop complaining about zealots, because they are very manly at least, so vOddy's basically being as manly as possible, even though it's not necessarily the best thing to do here. It's interesting, I wonder... I'm a bit confused by this ensnare. It doesn't seem particularly useful. He actually just ensnared 1 Zealot and 1 Ultralisk, which seems quite counterproductive. Although I don't think Ultralisks are affected by ensnare. There are some units that actually don't get slowed down by ensnare. Like I think Reavers and maybe Carriers aren't actually slowed down by ensnare. And Ultralisks, of course. But looks like, well, let's see. Is this guy, I really want to see this guy move actually, to see if it actually makes a difference.
That's actually a very expensive loss for vOddy.
Well,
oh, Dark Archons. If he can actually get to the Dark Archons, this can turn around, but it's going to be really difficult now because Predator was like 80 supply down and he still managed to pretty much equalize the game. So if you're in equal supplies right now, I think that doesn't look good for vOddy.
That doesn't. I'm actually wondering how many resources he lost there, because that was a mainly Zealot army, right? So yeah, he didn't actually lose that much gas worth of units. But having said that, looking at his money count, he's got no minerals either, so that's still a pretty big loss. And we have a big drop at the exact same time that the main army moves out. Oh my god, this is going to be horrible. His army is going to be completely out of position. Yes, he could kill a fresh expansion, but that's nothing compared to what's going to happen to his base. The army, look at the minimap, army immediately turns around, but it's so far away. Now, he does fortunately have some reinforcements. What's interesting is the Defilers are going to do almost nothing here. And actually, because of the building layout, these Reavers are going to be untouched, and they can actually just blow everything up right here. This is going to actually be pretty good for Protoss.
Yeah, this is actually going to end up being really good for vOddy. And he's actually, the best thing about this is because of this time that is being lost, the Dark Archons will have time to get energy, so anytime he attacks it from this moment on, he's actually going to be in much better position.
Huh. That did surprisingly little. I thought
I think he killed like 1 pylon. No, I mean, it didn't kill any gateways, right?
I don't think so.
No, you can't fit any more gateways in there, so it had to be a pylon at best.
It's kind of a funny gateway layout as well. I didn't realize this until now, but this layout gateway kind of bugs me. Is this even blocking stuff off? Like,
no, it's nothing. Everything can get out. I've checked.
Oh, we have a Maelstrom on the field. I see 1 Maelstrom. It only caught 1 Ultras though, so it's not the best Maelstrom. And I'm not even sure what these units are doing over here. It seems like there was only a handful of units. Interestingly, I think vOddy still doesn't know about the 6 o'clock. The 6 o'clock is so free. You can just kill it so easily. Just has no idea. Instead, it's going to go for this base, but there's an
I still think it's going to be very problematic right now, because vOddy right now has a perfect composition against this.
Yeah.
And Predator is not in perfect supply, but it's going to be so difficult for him to actually come back from this.
Yeah, this is getting much more scary with the Dark Archons. There's a much better Maelstrom and the Reavers in the back. See, pure Zealots, not good. Zealot, Archon, Dark Archon, Reaver, that's very, very good. Here we go. Oh, some Scourge coming out though. If he can grab all the obs, that'd be really nice. Does grab all of the obs. These 2 lurkers are now invincible.
No, look, not only that, but thanks to that, actually, look at the army right now from vOddy. He still has the 2 Dark Archons, 3 Archons, and 2 Reavers, but there's nothing left supporting them. So you can jump on this and actually kill it with just, I don't know, 40 Zerglings?
He's actually going to counter. Look at this. Big army massing right outside the Protoss game. He knows he can hold on to the space now with just the lurkers. He's got to be careful not to actually accidentally splash the lurkers. But another drop is coming in, and this time, what reinforcements do we have? Barely a control unit. Oh, but exactly as I say that, a bunch of Zealots actually spawn But again, the Zealots by themselves are not going to do that much. And interestingly, a bunch of Hydras actually in this drop. And the Ultra is actually just getting stuck here behind the gateways. So, again, not as big a drop as I expected.
But this time at least, he killed 2 gateways. So,
nice.
He did something. He did something, but no, I mean, maybe it would be much better to start trying to break through other areas. Maybe with just, I don't know, the bottom expansions from vOddy. They have 2 Reavers, but if you send just a few Zerglings with Swarm, you could potentially break those cannons.
It's quite difficult with the 2 Reavers there. You have to commit a lot of resources. But having said that, if he, like, instead of dropping the main twice, if he'd used all those units to attack the bottom right, he might have actually done it. So it's hard to say. But he does actually clean up, looks like the 2 Reavers that were outside his base here at the bottom left. So that's pretty good. There's actually very few drones here. I'm not sure why there's no drones anywhere. So there's a bunch at the back middle only. There's like, oh man, there's 2 Ultras actually stuck behind his side disruptor. He really should just kill this with lurkers. There's no point leaving this alive in the late game.
Yeah. Oh, an attack at the 12 o'clock is actually probably going to completely obliterate that base. I don't think there's any way he can stop it.
Yeah, Predator has 154 supply, but I'm not actually sure where it is. Because he doesn't
There's
have
a drop. There's actually a drop at the bottom base, but I don't think there's a defiler there, so...
Oh.
And it will still break through.
With all the Ultras there, it doesn't even matter. And finally, some reinforcements coming out to the 12 o'clock. Another Maelstrom here, but not much follow-up. That's the problem with the Dark Archons. I mean, yes, they're supporting spells, right? You need something to actually kill the units when they Maelstrom. Looks like he is actually going to be able to clean this up, but losing a lot of his army in the meantime and losing a base here. So trading base for base. How much mining is actually left, though? I mean, if we look here, vOddy is down to the 3 o'clock, which is pretty much I'm not even gonna count this. This is pretty much gone. So he's down to basically 1 base here at the bottom right after losing this Nexus. Although, is he gonna lose it? Ooh, barely
close. Now, that being said, though, I mean, Predator does have more bases, but he hasn't retaken the 9 o'clock, which is weird because it's kind of like the middle of the bases, so he could definitely take it, especially since he has complete map vision and map control. Look at how many things he has spread out, how many overlords all over the map.
Yeah.
Oh, that probe transfer.
Oh no!
What?
I'll get it.
The Hydras got scared from the probes.
Yeah, man. Hey, when you see a whole line of probes darting at you, that's pretty scary. By the way, is it just here? Is this bottom left hatchery off location? It looks really far from the gas. It looks like we're really far. Also, this one drone is not even mining the gas. It's just AFK.
There's a lot of chaos going on right now for both players.
Oh god. Of course, you know, when you get to like super late game, you know, craziness like this, you know, placing your hatchery in the wrong location is the least of your worries. It's not at all surprising. It's just kind of funny that it happens. Looks like a couple of random Reavers here. Do get picked off.
Yeah.
I was like going to say something else. I can't remember now though. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I was looking at the bases, and actually, there's a lot of economy being shredded right now for vOddy. He's at 170 supply, but he's 49 probes, and really, so far, at this moment, he still has only 1 base mining. He's going to transfer probably some of the probes, from the base that he actually still has mining, but that's not a lot of economy so far.
It is not, and we're reaching that super late game stage where every mineral is going to count here. The 6 o'clock actually is finally going to mine out for Predator. You know, I bet if vOddy loses this game and goes back and watches the replay, he's gonna be so mad at himself for not ever checking this base. I still don't think he's scouted this at all. I mean, maybe he just scouted it, you know, in the last couple of minutes and was like, it's not worth it because it's mined out. But that was a pretty big oversight on his part not to have check that. And it looks like going to kill his own side disruptors here to not get stuck. But there is a big Ultra-Link attack going for his natural. There's very few units here, only a single Reaver and a couple of Zealots popping out of the gateways right now. The main army is actually all the way at the bottom. The main army is stuck behind the side disruptors. He's actually stuck killing side disruptors. Looks like it doesn't matter though.
And they're still alive!
Oh my god, these side disruptors
Oh man! He was attacking with the entire army, so the Zealots were only hitting one of the temples. That means that every time that he killed the temples, he still had to go through another layer, and then another layer, and then another one.
Yep. That is the problem with that. And obviously, the units stop attacking once one of them dies, so you have to do the attack command again.
Should have attacked just only with the Archons, it would have probably been a lot faster.
Yep, Yeah, that's completely correct. But in the heat of the moment, you don't think of that stuff. It's a Great Aspire finish, by the way. I haven't seen any Great Aspire units though. Have you?
No, not even a muta.
not even a regular Spire unit.
Although I have to say though that looking at this moment, it feels to me like Predator has to really fast take the 12 o'clock and try to somehow drop the new basis spawn body, because if this game continues this way and Predator is basically trying to do only like from time to time small attacks, the map is going to get split, and with Dark Archons and with this composition, I don't see Predator taking this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky. That is so many Archons. That is so scary and so awesome to see. There's a big army. He attack moved the wrong way though. Look at the minimap. He attack moved like down the middle somewhere. Okay, finally he's going in. Oh man, that actually might be on purpose though. He might have done that so that everything gets in here at once. A big Maelstrom, but no Storm or anything to follow up. But the Archons doing everything. I love the switch to Hydras though. I love this switch to Hydras.
Yeah.
Yes, the Reapers are good, but the Hydras murder the Archons. Oh my god, this is actually really good by Predator. Look at this. The massive Archon count has been whittled down to only 3 Archons remaining. One Archon just panicking and running for the hills.
I still think that Predator, if he doesn't get anything done soon, he's going to be in a bad position economically. I mean, I don't see how he can turn this around. He has no money. Usually at this stage of the game, the Zerg has a pretty decent bank.
Yeah, the problem here is sort of the general problem with super late game PvZ is the Protoss, once he gets all those Archons and, you know, supporting units like Dark Archons and Reavers, the army is just so incredibly efficient, and it's just so annoying to play against the Zerg without a big economic lead. Now, the 12 o'clock, interestingly, is being retaken by Predator, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. I think he'll just need to hold on for a little bit and get that base up and running, and maybe try and do some drops to hold on here. It looks like gonna lose probably all his drones here. It looks like vOddy just gonna sacrifice his army for the drones. I don't actually think this is worth it for vOddy though. That was, you know, that's 3 Archons and you know,
wait,
the Zealots.
Wait, look at the reinforcement though. There's actually a good amount of reinforcements here, so maybe it is worth it.
Man, this 18 kill Archon, what a beast. 19 kill Archon. Okay, never mind. He actually cleans that up.
Ooh, this is really looking bad for Predator now. I mean, he brings in the Defiler. Ooh, and he actually gets sniped by the Reaper. He brings in the Defiler a little bit too late. When all those mass Archons were getting fought, I think that was when the Defilers would have been really useful, just at the beginning of the start of the battle. But from this moment on, ooh, it's so. I mean, Predator actually has very little income.
Yeah, that's it's quite a problem. Even if he gets the 12 o'clock up and running, the bottom right base is actually pretty fresh for vOddy because it actually died once already, so it's not like he's in danger of mining that out. Which means, and the 12 o'clock is not even going to survive here. It's going to get immediately taken out.
Another problem at this point of the game, because you mentioned like late game, the difficulty for Zerg, the other difficulty, and this is a huge one, once Protoss gets to this 3-3-3 upgrades, bases die in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna save it unless you're there already to stop it. Which means you either control with a few overlords and constantly know where the army is, or otherwise it's not going to, you're not gonna be there in time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of works both ways. You know, like if you get a bunch of cracklings on a Nexus, it dies pretty much instantly as well. But it just means you have to be much more careful with the positioning in general because you don't have time to react very much. A nice feedback on the Defiler, actually. Really nice. That's actually the main reason I like Dark Archons in the late game. Feedback is such an underrated spell. Everyone always thinks about, you know, Maelstrom and Mind Control because they look cool. But actually, if you think about the utility and the efficiency, I mean, Feedback only costs 50 energy. I'm pretty sure it's the cheapest spell in the game. And Defilers are pretty much always maxed energy because of Consume. So anytime you feedback a Defiler, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. So it's actually really strong.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be almost impossible. Remember when vOddy was at like 200 supply and Predator was at 140? That was when it was only Zealots. Now, however, 4 Reavers. How many Archons do we have in total? 8 Archons, and the Zealots again. I don't see... Ooh, this is gonna be so hard for Predator. Although, the good thing is the 6 o'clock, when it gets killed, is completely mined out. So...
I don't even think it was worth the Scarabs to kill that. Because he used more money in Scarabs than that base was even providing. Oh, looks like the Hydras tried to potentially snipe one of these shuttles, but not quite.
Oh, my God!
Oh!
Both shuttles!
Wow.
At this point in the game, it's so difficult to keep on track with that kind of stuff.
That is so good. The funny thing is, though, vOddy was actually looking there when that happened, right? He was actually controlling the army. He just didn't realize how quickly the shuttles would die. Because these Hydras, by the way, do have +3 range attack. That's not actually something you see too often until it gets super late game, right? Because Zerg's focus on the melee and carapace upgrades. But, play good.
Nice.
Decent play, but not going to be able to take the space.
Not enough for now. He needs a few more plagues like these, and still's going to be difficult. I mean, the Archons don't really care about plague.
They definitely don't.
How many High Templars do we have? Only 2. So, and I think only 1 is with the army. So if there's no storm, lurkers are going to completely destroy this army. And wow, and Predator actually is making lurkers.
He's actually completely switched back in his unit composition from Ultra Ling into Lurker Hydra, like going back to the mid-game composition, just to deal with all of these Zealots. And I think it's not a bad move, actually. The Hydras are good against Archons, so they can help pick off Reavers. And here we go. He's going to fight again, although only a small portion of the army is here. The rest of the army is coming from the natural. I'm not sure why this group was so separated from everything else.
Yeah, the problem is...
Plague, fail.
Yeah.
Ish.
The problem is if you do this kind of stuff when you actually sending a few units, the Zealots are still going to regenerate shields. And usually shields don't seem like a big deal because you don't have the armor upgrade, but in this case there is, so...
we have a cannon rush at the 6 o'clock.
What? Okay, that's weird.
Does he not realize there's no minerals there? Does vOddy actually think there's minerals at that base still? Is he like gonna build a nexus there?
Maybe.
Dude, I'm gonna be so happy if vOddy actually builds a nexus here. Although there is a sunken node to stop him.
I mean, at this point, the thing is... Oh, actually, 12 o'clock is really exposed. I think it's gonna go down.
Yeah, definitely. The army is completely on the wrong side here. There is a Dark Swarm, so gonna have to cancel this stuff.
Look, and the Dark Swarm is actually... there are lurkers under it, so when the army from vOddy comes in, he might actually take a lot of shots from this.
Yeah, the Zealots coming in first, though, are gonna be able to pick off one of the lurkers. Is there another one over here? Where's the... Oh, the ops are up here. Okay, fine. Nice plague, but it's not enough.
I mean, vOddy still has enough economy that he can rebuild to 200 in just a few seconds, and he has a huge infrastructure. That being said, though, if you look at his bases, there's only one that... No, actually, both of them are pretty much 1/3 to go, and then it's completely no economy. Where... Actually, Predator's still taking the 9 o'clock.
Hey man, again. Like 12 times the charm, right? You can't kill my base that many times. I'll just keep making it until he forgets about it. Like he forgot about the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, the 12 o'clock is definitely the point of contingency. This is going to decide who wins, I think. Whoever takes it is probably going to take it, because none of these players has been able to completely dominate the other one. So they're really trading blows. So at this point it becomes of economy. And we actually see Guardians now. So a little bit later, but at the natural, Guardians, Defilers, Lurkers, it's pretty much everything that you might want in a PvZ.
Guardians are obviously great here because there's no anti-air for the Protoss. Nice play, grabs both of the Reavers. Interestingly, grabs both Observers as well. That does ooh, fancy looking plague. Of course, it actually hits mostly Archon, so it's not as good as you might think. Looking into the future though, I don't think there's actually a way for Zerg to win, because even if the map gets mined out, even if the 12 o'clock doesn't get taken by Protoss, he has almost 3,000 minerals banked. And he can just spam Archons, and because gas, even though geysers get depleted, you can still mine from them, which means technically you can have infinite gas in a game. So basically, Protoss can just only make Archons and basically never run out of money, because there's so few minerals.
I mean, I understand where you're going with this. The problem with Archons, you can out-micro them very easily. So if you go to that late stage where you really can only make Archons, out-microing them is going to be very simple. And Predator has shown that he has very good micro. So Dark Archons, yes, those are probably the tools that can completely seal the deal, and there's nothing you can really do about it. But Archons alone, probably not.
But he's got no units to out-micro with. That's the problem. Look at Predator's money. He is spending every single mineral that comes in, and he's only at 117 supply, and the Protoss is maxed with 3k bank. I mean, it's like, you can absolutely micro against Archons until there's like 30 of them, and you have like 4 Hydralisks, and you're like, well, I mean, I'm gonna micro, but, you know, there's only so much you can do. Now, we're gonna have another big engagement here. The Reapers are actually out of range of everything. The Guardians providing a good amount of DPS from the back line here. Oh, they're gonna get stormed though.
Yeah, but as you're right about that. I mean, it becomes a number game, a numbers game eventually. So.
Oh, trying to do the high tempo snipe. Not gonna happen. I hear buildings dying. What's happening?
I don't know.
Is there like, I don't know. I heard photon cannons shooting or something. Anyway, looks like bottom right is getting pretty mined out.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's just going to be the 12 o'clock. Interestingly, the Zerg's bottom left bases have an okay number of minerals for now.
Yeah.
He hasn't like fully saturated that mineral line ever.
Archon donation. Oh, now, I mean, this kind of micro with Reaver against, and the Maelstrom. Oh man, that really, I mean, that's gotta hurt.
An interesting side note is that Maelstrom does not affect Archons, but it does affect Zealots. So, you know, you can't, like, accidentally Maelstrom your own Archons, which is nice, I suppose.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Because when you have this like massive Archon and Dark Archon army, and everything starts to, like, a lot of units are coming from everywhere, you just start spamming it, and you're not worried that you're actually going to block something from your own. Yeah, that's pretty huge.
Exactly. It's just like, it's so easy to storm your own units in these huge late games, especially because everything is melee, right? It's like the Zealot Archon, it's all melee. So it's pretty easy to do that.
Where's vOddy's army going?
Dude, a probe just went to the 6 o'clock and died to the sunken. I think vOddy actually thought there were minerals here.
Okay, so vOddy is going to go for this base. I mean, obviously he's going to get it. I don't think that the Predator can actually even kill this army, but it's getting completely... Oh my god, there's a lot of Archons by themselves.
Whoa! Speed Shuttle actually gets picked off. I think that probably had Reapers in it. I wasn't able to click it first, though. So nice little win, but the Zerg army does walk through a corridor of storms as it's coming in at the same time. He is moving in, though, trying to pick off this army. The Protoss army is actually looking really small compared to what it was just now. Most of the Archons are actually dead. I don't actually know how this has happened. He is going to kill this base, but vOddy actually has... Well, he's still got a lot of units, so... That's still pretty scary, but that's way fewer Archons than before.
Yeah, because he sent like half of his army through the smaller bridge from the center to the 9 o'clock, and then some of the units went actually through the top, and those got completely picked off. Oh, all the observers actually died. And yeah, you mentioned Zealot Maelstrom.
It's interesting that it actually affects High Templars as well. I mean, Maelstrom, it affects our organic units, right? So it affects the Zealots and the High Templars. For the first time in a while, Protoss is actually less than maxed, but he has 4k minerals back, so I don't think it's going to be a problem for too long.
Yeah, and he even has a little bit of gas left, so it's not like he's actually completely going to be building Zealots from this point. But, I mean, Predator might still get something done. The Zerglings are still very efficient at this point. You can see actually them killing a good amount of Archons.
Man, Predator is really fighting back well here. I am so impressed. I'm also interested to see what vOddy remaxes here. He's got to be careful. Like, it's so tempting to just spam Zealots because you have 4k bank. But you have to think about the long game here. The Zealots are not cost-effective at all in the late game. They're just like a buffer. They're there to just absorb, you know, some damage and just fill out your army a little bit. But, you know, considering how the map is pretty much mined out, really needs to think about saving those minerals for the gas-heavy units. And he is doing that. You see, he's made a handful of Zealots, but you can see he is pumping out the High Templar, which of course will become Archons for the most part. So I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, really, Predator played very well, but at this point, it's pretty much almost lights out for him. I don't see him breaking the 12 o'clock. I don't see him winning against the army, and I don't see him taking down, like, I don't know. There's no more expansions, so basically, even if he retakes the 9 o'clock, which I have to say, if he takes the 9 o'clock and manages to get to his max supply, he might at least have a fighting chance. But even then, not against that many Dark Archons, Reavers. It's so good of an army composition from vOddy.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be some kind of, like, if he can, if vOddy makes a big mistake and suicides both shuttles with the Reavers or something, and then we
yeah,
get,
like before.
Yeah, and we get like 2 or 3 monster plagues on all the zealots, then maybe Predator can do something here. But just look at this late game Protoss army; it's so scary. And he's actually gonna just go for the front now. Oh man, the units are actually just getting blown up as they come out of the Nidus. That's actually really bad. Oh god, and the Maelstrom as well.
That's gonna be it. That's gotta be it.
That was pretty much the opposite of what Predator wanted. He wanted that to happen to vOddy. GG!
GG. Very good game.
Wow. vOddy takes down Predator in game 1, but well played by both players there.
Yeah.
Saw some really good stuff.
And I gotta say, for a very long time, I thought, wow, this is going to go to Predator because he had a great, like, he had a very high supply count at some points. He had very good army compositions. He was switching very nicely from army to actually deal with vOddy was doing. So I really think he had a very good shot at that.
Yeah, definitely. No, I like that point because a lot of Zerg players in the late game will just blindly go ultraling all the time, even when it doesn't make as much sense. Just because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So switching back there to the Hydra Lurker is really smart. I am curious about the queens though. We saw like pretty much 1 ensnare and 1 or 2 queens, and that was it, which seems a bit wasteful to me. I mean, because he wasn't even that far ahead at that point, or ahead at all. So I'm not really sure what the point of that was.
I mean, I can tell you that I have seen in the past a lot of games from Predator because, you know, him being from Poland and me as well, so I like watching him. And I've seen him pull some crazy things with this, which what he would do is ensnare 2 times and then surround the army. And then it's like the Protoss then can't run away. But in this case, yeah, as you mentioned, he wasn't actually ahead, so it didn't work well for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a gimmicky thing. I actually like it more in ZVT, to be honest, where you ensnare like a huge group of Marines and it can't run away from your Lings anymore. I guess I even would have preferred to see Broodling, maybe Broodling on Templars.
Yeah.
You can't Broodling Reavers, right? I don't think you can.
No.
Can you?
No.
Okay.
No, I can't.
Yeah. So Broodling some Templars though, that would have been better. But anyway.
Yeah. It's theory crafting.
It is theory crafting. But instead of theory crafting, we can instead go and watch game number 2 of the same series. Of course, these are best of 3 matches here in the round of 32. Map number 2 is going to be Aztec. So interesting 3-player map here. And, well, are you ready for the game, Cats Paul?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Game number 2, hopefully as exciting as the first.
Yeah.